you pivoted as you're waiting for, I guess, I do call it a big score, someone to sign you.
The bamboo tree to sprout.
Yeah.
That's the big break is there.
Well, that's entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Warriors Mindset Podcast, where the sayings, riddles, and blunders of the wise are coming at you. I'm sitting here at the Rumpus Room with my business partner and many other things, Mr. Mitch Lilly.
How's it going, everyone?
How you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. Busy. Lot going on today.
A lot going on. And we have the pleasure of Mr. Daniel Weiser. How you doing, man?
Good.
It's good to have you here.
It's great to be here.
You walked in here at the Rumpus Room to say hi, and you're sitting in the chair.
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. And we got Elijah, our producer, our fearless leader, keeping our shit straight here at Warriors Mindset.
And if anything goes wrong, blame me.
Yeah, we are filming here in the Rumpus Room, one of our many businesses. I call it our listing room, private party room, and Middle Earth on our property, wouldn't you say?
Oh, dude, it's so cool in here.
It was your first time seeing it, wasn't it?
Yes. The last time I was here, I couldn't even get in here because there was so many people in here and there was heavy metal going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it with the lights on either. I think last time I was in here is all dimly lit, and I didn't see these beautiful murals on the wall.
It's normally dimly lit.
Dude, that dragon in the back over this volcano is incredible.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
I love it. It's spray paint art. It was a gentleman named Grant Willis. God rest his soul. He passed away, but he was selling art on canvases like planets and stuff. And it was at a garage sale. And if you know me, I love garage sales. Garage sales are where you make money, entrepreneurs. You get there, you hustle, you buy the My Little Ponies and the Star Wars figures. Well, anyway, This guy had these like posters, right? Spray paint art. And I bought them all. One, I liked them. And two, I love it. It's like some kid with a lemonade stand, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? So I bought them all, and then I got to know them over like a summer, and then we decided to turn our office into this. And I went to him. I said, "Can you do the planets here, and can you give me your version of Middle Earth?" And so sitting behind us is Mordor.
So freaking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when this was an office.
Do you?
I remember when I was 16 years old, Matt Brownstein brought me in the office
Matt
here and, interviewed me.
Oh, he hired you?
He hired me, yeah. I think he was the main guy who hired me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
You're like a beanpole teenager.
I probably ran here.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was big into running back then.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to be sitting here and with, we talk a lot before, like we record. I'll just be honest with you. Sometimes in the podcast recordings from before we do the podcast, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, we got to start recording. And Elijah's like,
We were.
So I'm sitting here with like 4 real entrepreneurs, right? Like pure entrepreneurs, and it's cool. And I was talking and married people, so we're all married, and then I'm a father and Daniel's a father. So it's what's that? Newly father.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. Like I love children, but 0 through 5 is hard.
Oh my gosh, dude. My brother my brother's younger than me. He just had a baby like 9 months ago. And he sent me a photo. He said, I almost threw up on my son. And his son is just covered in like poop everywhere. Oh. He's just like, it's like this, like, and his wife was not home. So he had to clean up all this vomit.
Well, the poop and the vomit is what is 50% of the hard.
So
Yeah.
can you just like take
So
it in the shower and just spray it off, or what's
Take
the deal?
it.
Or
So my dad was telling me when I was a baby that he used to just like put me in like half a foot of water in the tub if I like had pooped all over myself. And he was
Yeah.
like, you should totally do that. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And then, end up finding out how bad it can get. And now sometimes I'll be like, you know what? We're getting in the shower, buddy, and I'll just hop in the shower with him and just rinse him off, and that's easier than trying to clean him up with wet wipes because that gets
dude.
no.
Well, I do that with myself anyway. Like sometimes I just do that with myself if I sharted or something. I just jump in there and but I know these people that they poop and then don't wipe and then and then shower.
And then don't wipe. Okay.
And then shower.
Okay, that's
Jump
fine.
right in the shower. That's bad. Anyway,
terrifying.
So like the baby thing, like I love babies, and like for me, I get to like talk with Dan and ask him about what's going on with him because I know I'm going to be a grandfather, but I'm not going to have to deal with the poop, so that's going to make the baby big time because I'm not going to unless I really have to.
Not looking forward
You
to
will.
the poop.
yeah.
As a grandfather?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to babysit and change
No,
diapers.
they'll just be over at your house, and I mean, there's been a couple of times that my wife and I have just fallen asleep on her parents' couch. It's 8 p.m. and they're playing with the baby, and the baby poops, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna wake them up." They barely get any sleep anyways.
My
so
sister does.
they end up dealing with the poop.
My
Oh,
sister
so
does
is
that crap to
Yeah.
us. She'll just like leave her freaking babies there, and then just like her and her husband will go take a nap. It's like there's just these kids running around. You're like, all right, I guess
Okay,
we
well,
gotta
let me ask you
deal with
this.
them.
Let me ask you this: does it make you say, "Man, these are good grandparents," and you're really appreciative of that?
Definitely very appreciative.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I don't do it, then I'm not going to get like extra points.
you gotta get those extra.
You'll just be the
grandparent
grumpy
points.
old guy who doesn't want to change diapers.
Yeah. Well, I
those
think
kids
that
out
and
of
the sleep is tough, But you know what's cool? I was just telling these guys. I was telling them. I said they're entrepreneurs, okay? Because you're newly in entrepreneurship.
I had dabbled I would say the word entrepreneur was me for a long time.
Got
a
it.
really long time.
Yeah.
And I never really took the jump until a year ago.
Yeah, and that's cool. And I think that's a good stepping stone. I've said that. Be an entrepreneur and then either become a partner with a company or if you want to do your own shit, right? And we're all married, and then Dan and I are fathers. But I like that, and it becomes a safe place, because as you grow in entrepreneurship and grow in wealth, money, it's like I was told it's lonely at the top, and I've experienced that. And to be able to sit here with you guys and on a weekly basis with you guys, it's so cool. So Dan, since you're here, let's talk about your recent company that you opened, and that is 10-6.
Yes.
What is 10-6?
So 10-6 is a production company that I actually came on in 2021. My partner Ian Bensman had started the company, mostly just doing small production work for local businesses and stuff like that. And then also his main focus was he wanted to end up doing his own, fully the stuff that comes out of his brain, basically. And he is a writer and wanted to make a live action show for a long time, based on some concepts that he's had since he was 12 years old. And he ended up meeting a voice actor, Rob Paulson, who encouraged him to change his live action idea into a cartoon. And when I came in on 10-6, he was sort of in the spot where he didn't know which direction to move next, and he really wanted to do this cartoon, but getting it off the ground was going to cost a lot of money, and how does he make that next step? So I was like, I'd love to help happen for you. I want to inject some cash, and then I also want to, figure out our budget for this and do this, first pilot cartoon, this first pilot episode as cost effective as possible, so we can take it on and pitch it to some studios in Hollywood and actually, turn it into what you have dreamed it to be. So that's basically what we've been grinding out for the last 3 years, and we're finally at the point that we finished our pilot episode, and we are and we've got some meetings set up, a whole lot, but we have meetings set up with some studios, and we're working out hopefully the deal that is going to get the cartoon up and out there. So,
yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and I know a little bit about it, and I love getting updates. So where can people look for what's coming? Where can they follow you? Where can they check this out?
Right now, if you want to know about the cartoon, you can go on IMDb.
What's the name of the cartoon?
It's called Avenging Justice.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Let's back up. Very important. Avenging Justice. Can you tell us a little storyline? Can you give us a little
absolutely.
Prequel?
My partner Ian, he is a huge superhero comic book guy, which is actually very related to the stuff that you do. He's there's probably a lot of synergy there that you guys could.
Well, that's why we're hitting it.
Yeah,
off.
absolutely.
Common
interest.
Common interest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So his concept has always been to write a show that sort of lampoons the current state of the superhero genre, and it's only gotten better and better the more Marvel and DC have come into the mainstream and had their big blockbuster hits. And
there's a lot of side things that are very cool.
Yeah.
So
he kind of wants to make fun of that in a way that is both critical of where he thinks they have kind of gone awry, and also in a way that is respectful to these brands and these stories that he grew up with and loves so much. So he's still a huge Marvel and DC fan, but he also knows how to poke fun at them from the perspective of a fan and not someone who's trying to just be like, oh, this is stupid, tear it down. So
it's a hard market to break into.
Yeah.
I like that you went after it.
So for me, it was always I'd really sort of pinch myself sometimes, because when I was younger, I was doing voice acting, and a lot of the voice actors that we work with now are people that I looked up to as a kid, and it's kind of really crazy to work with these people and walk into a recording session with them and just watch them be the masters of their craft that they are, but in person, not just I saw videos of them doing it when I was a kid.
That's so cool, dude.
That is awesome.
The Sanji voice actor, that is the coolest one to me, because I like just One Piece,
Eric
these things that are just like, I mean, it sounds stupid that a cartoon would have been such a building block in my life creatively.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine seeing that in person. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. No, it's really cool to work with these people, but it's also you kind of got to stay in this headspace where you were an equal to them. That's the biggest thing, that I found working with celebrities and stuff like that is if you act like a fan, you'll get treated like a fan. So I think definitely putting aside, oh my gosh, I love all your work, and being very professional, and we're here to get work done with you, and we're on the same level as you, and we need to have that respect between each other is definitely sometimes a challenge, but also it makes you feel really good at the end of the day.
Yeah. Would you say, a different level? You're saying that you have to have a different level of thinking when you're interacting with them, or what are you saying there?
You can't think like someone who is just a fan of these people. You can't be thinking, oh my gosh, I love everything they do. I'm so lucky to be in this room with them. They're on this other level than I am.
Can I get a picture?
Can I get a picture? Exactly.
Like you're their boss.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you have to act the
You're
part.
there. You're there to direct them and to produce what they are part of creating with you.
Yep.
They automatically will put
and-
you in a category.
And they will automatically, all of these people, they have lots of fans, and they will put you in a category that you don't want to be in if you want to have the respect from them as an equal creative, in a space where you're all working together. It's like if you were, trying to be the boss, but all of your employees treated you like you were beneath them. So
that's interesting because we work with a lot of athletes, and when I first started working with them and being around them, I was always like Fanny.
yeah,
And over the last 5 years, it's like, yo, what up? And then we do the thing. And I've noticed that the athletes that I've been in contact with or built relationships over the last 5 years, because I've been around doing stuff, pizza, all that. Yeah. If you act like a fan, they're going to treat you like a fan.
yeah,
If you act like a boss or treat them like human, they're human
Exactly.
too. Because people are like,
Then they're going to want to maintain a relationship with you because it's mutually beneficial, right? Like you could help them in their professional lives, they can help you in your professional life.
exactly.
yeah. So you're
Build off each other.
Yeah, that's interesting. So act like a fan, be treated like a fan. So you're 3 years in.
Yeah.
You guys made any money yet?
No. This is. I mean, we've. So that's the thing is, we've had to branch out and do other things to keep things funded.
Yeah.
We ended up opening an e-commerce store to help some of the, and this is where it comes into sort of, you make these relationships with these people, you become respected by them, and then you can bring other things to them. This started as just us working on a cartoon. We have voice actors in a cartoon. That's our relationship.
Yeah.
But after we developed, a relationship that was more meaningful, we're more like friends than just, people who are working together. And especially because they respect us and they feel that, hey, we're calling them up and it's not, oh, this fucking guy, what's he want from me?
Well, I kind of knew the answer to that question because we've been talking, and I want to get this out to the listeners. And
But yeah, the cartoon has made no money because it's not, it's not released yet, and there's nothing.
So, but 3 years.
Yeah.
So check this out. So 3 years, and you're working at it. You pivoted as you're waiting for, I guess, I do call it a big score, or, someone to sign you.
The bamboo tree to sprout.
Yeah.
the
That's
big break is the
that's entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And you said it with the bamboo tree. Like, we might as well tell the story. You might as well, but it takes time, right?
Yeah, I mean it's I might totally butcher this, but it's the story of the Japanese bamboo tree, right? Like you have to, or the Chinese bamboo tree, I don't know what it is, but
A bamboo tree.
A bamboo tree. Like you plant the seed and you have to water it and nurture it, and you can't disrupt the soil. You can't dig it up to check on it. But, after you tend to it for 5 years, all of a sudden you see a sprout, and within months, that thing is 20, 30 feet tall, and you're like, wow, like so much growth happens so fast after you waited so long for it to come, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people give up in that, the span of 5 years because they see no growth happening, and they're little do they know they're so close to just seeing it take off.
Yeah. You have to water, you have to nurture, but do you know they torture people with those motherfuckers? Have you heard of that? I've heard. So it's kind of torture sometime being an entrepreneur, right? Dan?
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
20. How old are you?
25.
25. Mitch, how old are you?
27.
Yeah. Like I would say, you guys have tons of time too, man. Like, you could just keep hitting at it, because I'll tell you what, this Jets Pizza that I own, I ate shit so many times. It took so long, and to get it, but now it's to confirm the highest sales Jets Pizza gross revenue. They confirmed it. I met with them.
Dude, that is so awesome.
17 years later. Now we've been the top for about we've been the top since 2020. Since we reopened 2020. So,
And you know what's funny is
after the shutdown.
11
Yeah, go ahead.
11 years ago when I started in the company at Jets as a salad girl,
Thanks for dodging the microphone.
I don't usually laugh at that because we do call him that, but he never calls it himself. I always call him that, but he never calls himself that.
So when I started as a salad girl, I remember they're like, oh, hey, paydays always used to be Friday, right? You get your paper check on Fridays. They're like, hey, payday's changing to Saturday. And I was like, at the time I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, no big deal. I didn't think that deep into it, but little did I know it was because they didn't have the money on Fridays.
Us, my organization.
And that was just 11 years ago.
11 years ago. So I've told this story before, but we were so fucking broke with Jets Pizza. It was before the restaurant. The restaurant helps us now, but it didn't help us when we did it. But when we first opened the carryout, checks would have bounced if I would have continued. And it was like, I did it in like too short of a time telling people, but I had to make my payday be Saturday instead of Friday. Now it was 100% checks. There was no direct deposit.
Yep.
Because I needed two things. One, the deposit to go in on Saturday morning from Friday. And most people were paying cash. Like now it's like you sell $10,000, you have $500 cash left. So so checks would not bounce. And it was cool too. I noticed afterwards is some people didn't cash their checks till Monday. So that was very helpful too. And I had to look at the intricate detail of that. And during this time, I didn't pay myself. My paychecks after taxes were $337.38. There was a bunch of fucking threes, right?
I was like the same as mine.
That was after I was $500 a week minus taxes. That's what I paid myself. And did you know during this time I had about 14 checks that I didn't cash? Almost lost fucking everything. I had some good people come into my life, workers and whatnot, but I just kept fucking going every day, year after year. And that's what you have to do.
Shoveling, man, just pushing forward. It's like a freight train. You can't stop, man.
It kind of reminds me of this past weekend. Victoria and I went up north and just for a few days, and we ended up getting stuck in 2 feet of snow in this field. I drove into this field because her grandfather was like, yeah, there's a 2-track. You just drive out towards the blind. So I drive into the field. We get stuck in 2 feet of snow. And I ended up pushing the truck.
Oh my gosh, dude.
30 yards out of the snow.
No way.
And let me tell you, dude.
Is this your Silverado?
Yeah, this is my Silverado. And I'm telling you right now, I was pushing with all my might, and
She was in the car?
She was in the car, and I would be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. And I would just dig my shoulder into the tailgate and push as hard as I could.
Muscle Mitch.
And anytime I let off, the truck would stop. And I'm like, am I really the thing that is keeping this truck in motion right now? That is crazy.
You were. And
it's insane.
You, me. And I mean, you got a team. Luckily, I had no team then.
Well, this is
my team then is my team fucking now. And they were teenagers.
Yeah.
Every single time I tried doing my own thing, right? Because I have my own LLC, which I'm getting rid of in January. I'm abolishing.
Yeah, because you have to pay an accountant to do shit.
Yeah, so I'm getting rid of it. But also, I'm like, every time I tried doing something, it was all on my own. I had a month, or like a string of months, where I was making $15,000 to $20,000 a month on my own. This was last year, like maybe almost 2 years ago now. I was going at it, dude. But I destroyed myself. I was unwilling to scale. to expand, to trust other people. And I was renting a space out of Jim's office, and I was like, he kept telling me to like, we should do this together. I'm like, no, because I didn't want to give up that money, and it ended up like burning me for almost a year, where I like couldn't. I had to go get a regular job because I literally destroyed myself. And it wasn't until I started this with James that I'm like, oh my gosh, it's working because I have somebody else.
Yeah. And people ask me, like, I sell parts of my company to my operators, right? And some people say, and some wise people have said, people wise in my life, all of them have been corporate employees, by the way, but they're very wise, have said, why are you selling off this stuff? Why are you selling off this stuff? And first of all, if I wouldn't have started selling in the beginning, I'm fucking in the grave. Okay? So that's one way to get some money into your organization.
Yep.
But the lesson here is like there's more shoulders with operating partners. I have operating partners.
It's not just a verbal interest, it's a monetary
Oh,
interest.
yeah. They all
in
wrote
what's going
fucking
on.
checks.
Skin in the game. It's important.
One guy
It changes your mindset.
Listen, one guy recently, we had 7 people come into our company, gave me almost everything he had. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I got a paycheck coming. And he's got a good gig. So I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
I mean, the truth is, you can push that truck all you want, but without someone in the driver's seat hitting the gas pedal, you're not getting out of the ditch. And without someone back there pushing,
woo,
you're
bring
not
it
getting
together.
out of the ditch. You need at least a couple people. You need a team to.
Well, it starts
get
with one. You get one like that you can trust.
Yep.
And it ended up being my son, Patrick, who's not here today. He's taking care of business, but
Patrick's awesome.
dude,
Yeah, he is.
The way he deals with people, the first time, I've said this on the podcast before, the first time Patrick had a problem with me at all, the way he addressed it, I was like, I freaking love this dude.
yeah, you know what? People say with Patrick, I've said this story before. They go, Jason, I really like working with you, but I love working with Patrick. So, I guess this kind of comes to this, is that I told my team today, I said, I got to just trust you guys and let you do your thing, and I got to move out of the way, And, it comes down to this, and today's episode is called 3 Mistakes, okay? Now, we got to sit here with some entrepreneurs, and I think we've all made mistakes, and we're going to make more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm twice your guys' age, so I've made 3 times as many mistakes. You want to know why? Because I didn't have anybody till I was like 38.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm so looking forward to what you guys are going to do. But, mistakes are part of it, right?
Well, how are you going to learn?
How are you going to learn? So for me, I decided that I need to be very careful who I talk to because people misunderstand me. Because I'm kind of nuts too. Like, I'm like, you got to kind of bring me in sometimes.
Loose lips sink ships.
They do. But I got have this passion intellect going. Yeah. It's like I got this passion with this intellect because I'm not making decisions out of emotion, but there's emotion within my decisions, right? However, what you just said was part of my problem. So mistake number 1. So yesterday, I would call it. So let me back up a little bit. About 2 weeks ago, I started counting my mistakes at the end of the day. And what I'm doing is dissecting them and then moving on instead of feeling guilty about it. Because I tend to overthink things.
Me too. I do. I overthink a lot.
How many times have I apologized to you guys since our relationship? No, I'm talking about, I'm sorry. Oops, I did this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I know I have. You may not even remember because you guys are good dudes. But,
No, I know. You've said
and
that
so,
a couple times.
So part of it is like a misunderstanding on your part or my part, right? Mm-hmm. But here, let me tell you, before I get off base here, I can feel myself going in a different direction. I've been counting my mistakes and I've been dissecting them and learning from them and moving on so that I can still have not dwell on the past, right? Don't dwell on the past. Don't dwell on mistakes, right? And some are bigger than others. But yesterday we had a very cool gathering with one of our companies. And it combined Warriors and the Grateful Crow. So it was a Grateful Crow Christmas party. I called it my first mandatory Christmas party. So I gave actually Victoria and Alex has been on the podcast, and Victoria, instructions. I gave them instructions. Okay.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, what was supposed to happen at a slow pace was like a bunch of fucking kittens running around. And so I went with everybody, hey, stop. I was like, no, this is how it's supposed to go. Major mistake. Why? Okay. One, Victoria and Alex are super high intellect and they know how to solve problems. They're some of our problem solvers, right?
Both very smart.
Right. So despite the mistake that they made, I should have just let them work it out, because at the end of the day, it would have been no big deal. You see what I'm saying? And just find out what went wrong later. And when we're in that situation again, do better at it. Just let them do it. Whatever mistakes happened wouldn't have been a big deal. Okay? So I shouldn't have done that. I did the same mistake 3 times yesterday. So this is my 3 mistakes. So I'm not going to tell all those stories. I did this fucking shit 3 times yesterday. And if there's something I hate, is making a mistake a 3rd time. 2 times, fuck it. Like, oh shit, But 3 times, fuck. I hate it. So I talked to Alex and Victoria later, okay? And listen, I'm saying names. If you don't know us, I'm saying names because this particular podcast, Realistic Entrepreneurship, is part of our training system. And I want the people that work with us, and these people I'm talking about, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? And if we think it matters, they'll beep it out. So I talked to them later and I said, hey guys, I'm sorry. Fuck this up. And they said, yeah, I don't know what happened, but they weren't supposed to come that way. I said, oh, they weren't supposed to come that way. And it's because the other person that was supposed to instruct them, they were supposed to come through the front door, not the kitchen. I had them waiting in the kitchen till the doors were open. Because it was cold outside and people were showing up early, and that was cool. The other person I gave instruction disappeared. They didn't do their job. So how much better? It doesn't matter about that. Like, just whatever. But what does it matter? Like, if I would have just waited. If I would have just waited and then found out the full story, but I kind of made a fool of myself. I would be honest. Like, I felt like I made a fool of myself. Most people aren't going to care. The people that see it as something negative, I guess, fuck it. But, I don't want that. But what's the lesson here? If you have a leader with you and you trust them, let them do it and eat shit and make a mistake, right? And so I made the same mistake 3 times. I gave someone instruction, and in the middle of them not doing it exactly how I envisioned it, I got involved. The mistake is mine. The other situations were a little different, but the mistake was mine. Should I have given more clarity? Should I have written it out? Like, if I would have written it out, no problem. So there was my mistakes. My 3 mistakes were the same mistake.
This was a struggle for me when we first hired our now full-time editor. We did a contract position with her for a couple of months just to see how it would work out, whatever, figure out pricing with her, where she wanted to be pay-wise, all that stuff. And I was so picky. Like, I was poring over every inch of every video she did.
Yeah.
And I mean,
It's your baby.
I have to. But
It's hard not to.
But I realized I was up at 1 a.m. watching videos that she had edited, and before I sent it to the clients, and I was starting to miss deadlines because I was spending so much time double checking the work and going in.
I'm not getting my own shit done.
And I got to the point where I was like, I need to just trust it. So I remember the first time I just sent the project out to a client. I didn't even watch it. I was like, I trust her. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I have been wasting hours of my life because I wanted it to be a specific way.
Do you see that in our organization that happen? Or
Yeah, and I think the root of it, it's funny, Caesar came around last night and he was kind of touching tables and asking people what they liked most about their job here and where he could see us improving on the most. And without a thought, I just said organization. And I think a lot of our problems can be solved with organization on every level. And,
systems.
We're working on it. We're working on it every day.
Yeah.
And we probably will be until the day we die. But organization is key.
Yeah, and I would say, like, for our organization, this is going to be the first year in a long time where we're not starting anything new,
Mm-hmm.
or
that'll be a breath of fresh air.
Eating shit anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not making. We're doing good, and we have mountains to climb, but we're not eating shit either. But it took years.
You don't have to bounce a bunch of checks all the time and make the payday Saturday or whatever. In my 20 years being on my own, I've only bounced 2 checks, and I called them before it happened, and I worked it out. That's awesome.
Yeah,
you should be proud of that, dude.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the most terrifying moments as an entrepreneur is having a check not go through or something like that. When
it's terrifying.
Someone is counting on you now for their livelihood.
Yeah, because it's a trickle ecosystem.
When that happens, you have to do everything in your power to make that right because you're now responsible for other people. And
it's a lot of weight on your shoulders.
A lot of weight on your shoulders. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, and that's we have about 150 people in our organization, and like you're responsible for that. They're responsible to do their job, but
of course,
you as the leader, CEO, or whether it's 2 people or 4 people, it's like you're responsible for that. But here's the thing: if you take responsibility for that, you get some good motherfuckers. Yeah. Well, hey, Danny, thank you so much, man. What a surprise for you to be here.
Absolutely.
Can you pump your show again?
Yeah, Avenging Justice. You can find it on IMDb right now if you want to follow along, see what happens with it. And then our e-commerce store, we sell merchandise for a lot of the celebrities that we work with, is geekventionshop.com.
Awesome. Well, keep us updated. Awesome. Don't be a stranger. Yeah. Elijah, Mitch, thank you so much. I hope you guys all have a Yes. Mitch, here, we'll do this one. Mitch, Elijah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I purposely paused. Sorry.
Yeah, you fucker. All right. I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas. Hey, share the show with someone and, share love, and we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.